What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight's show is going to be great, so stick around. This is a live call-in show, so I just want to get this out of the way real quick. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else's on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Again, this is a live show and it can vary on time, so remember to get our notifications. You can actually sign up for push notifications over on our website. It's marfooglenews.com, and then you'll be able to click that red bell and get here. So keep that in mind. And we do something else that almost no one else does as well. We actually, before every single show, make every single article, tweet, video, anything that we show you here today is available live as you're watching the show. So you can go to marfooglenews.com. It's very easy to navigate. You can go to today's thumbnail. The world has shifted. The sky has moved. And then the elders have spoken is right there. You click on it. And once you do, it will bring you to every single article, every single tweet. So you can actually go on a second device. If you're watching on TV or watching on a computer, you can go on your phone and you can read the article in completion. Again, on the right side, if you want to support us, a lot of people ask what is the best way. You can PayPal here. You can get any of the products that we have. You can use our Amazon link just by clicking on that simple square. Anything that you buy from Amazon after you click on that link will help us and the show. So thank you guys who have done that. Again, a lot of people don't know where to find that. So that's all on the same page. Everything is there. I'm going to introduce my internet brother, Dex, and my co-host. What is going on, Dex, and how are you?
Hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. Kind of a crazy night here tonight.
So obviously a lot of people are watching. There are several hearings going on today. Again, that is something that I think everybody should be watching and paying attention to. Most of you are saying what hearings and probably don't know because there's not a lot of coverage of it. We're working out a system to try to get ourselves our foot in the door per se on some of this stuff. So we'll talk about that later. But first, let's get right into it. Aliens or just nature at play? Amazing light pillars give Russian city sci-fi movie-like feast of brightness. This is actually from there, and it says the rare phenomenon was observed by residents of the Siberian city of Tyumen on the first night of winter, as light pillars colored the pre-dawn skies in blue and orange hues. Numerous vertical shiny beams remained visible in the sky right up until sunrise, with people flocking outside and taking pictures to share on social media. So, first of all, we have had more random phenomenons that have just come out of nowhere, and they always have some sort of scientific, explanation for this stuff. But honestly, stuff like this just boggles my mind. It's like, how do we have so many things that we are not taught about until they happen? And then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is a phenomenon that happens. So check this out. This is just a trip and a half. So I don't know exactly how long this actually lasted, but that is incredible. It says the site might have resembled an alien invasion to imaginative witnesses, with tractor beams lowered into Tyumen to deploy extraterrestrial forces from spaceships to Earth. But there seems to have been no panic among the locals, as light pillars aren't too uncommon in northern latitudes. It says the optical phenomenon happens after dusk and before dawn when sun is near below the horizon at temperatures below minus 20 degrees Celsius and in high humidity. It says the spectacular effort is created by the reflection of light from tiny ice crystals that are suspended in the atmosphere or form high-altitude clouds. Light pillars can be observed at any time during the night. Dex, have you ever heard of this? I have personally never seen this, never heard of this at all.
No, Adam, I've not. This is kind of a new one for me, for sure.
I mean, so they say that this is like just normal up there. I'm surprised that this isn't on, Imagine posters or endurance posters all over the place. Like, I have never seen this. Have any of you guys? I just want to ask the chat because honestly, and if there's something I don't know, I'm not going to be ignorant and say I didn't know about it, so it didn't exist. But honestly, I've never seen anything like this. The chat on both says, Joshua says, yes, I call BS on their explanation. That was Joshua. All light, it says, what happened over Area 51? Might be looking into that. Carrie Wilson says, I've seen it in New York. To Emily says, I've seen it in New York. It was in the news a few years back, says Audacity. Alex Butchell says, I have seen it. So a lot of people have seen this. Where does this pop up other than Russia? Secure Team did a video on it years ago, says Chief Blast. That is incredible. I have never heard of this, and I've honestly, that's pretty amazing. As far as, I'm sure there's a lot of people that think that it's not what they say it is. Of course, that it's some sort of glitch in the Matrix. I could see that, honestly, being all over Reddit. But, whatever. I have never seen that in my life. So you learn something new every day. Now, this is a trip, and not everybody's happy about it. It says San Francisco bans smoking inside apartments, but pot smoking is okay. It says city officials in San Francisco have banned all tobacco smoking inside apartments, which I actually thought that was something that was already done, but I guess there was still smoking places, citing concerns about secondhand smoke. But lighting up a joint inside, that's still allowed. It says the Board of Supervisors voted 10-1 on Tuesday to approve the ordinance, making San Francisco the largest city in the country to ban tobacco smoking inside of apartments. It says that the original proposal sought to ban residents from smoking marijuana in their apartments, but supervisors voted to exclude marijuana after cannabis activists said that the law would take away their only legal place to smoke. That's actually pretty true, right? It says it's illegal under state law to smoke cannabis in public places. So if you can't smoke it in public, where are you going to smoke it? And it's something that's technically legal in a lot of places, including Washington. So how would they do that? As somebody who looks at it from, you got to look at it from both sides. Have you ever rented out your property to somebody? Have you ever been a landlord? Honestly, think about that. Is there damage from pot smoke? Probably just the same as cigarette smoke, probably less damage, but there's still probably going to be smoke damage from pot smoke. If you've ever walked into places, I used to smoke pot, I know that it would probably leave a film all over the place. But I don't know. What's your guys' opinion? Do you think that they should allow pot smoking? And again, I'm not against pot smoking, but I could see both ways as far as like banning one or the other. That's kind of they're one and the same, aren't they? I guess the chemicals in the tobacco would make it much worse in the walls. But I just see it as if you were renting a place, would you want somebody smoking weed every single day in it? Or do you not care? I wouldn't personally, I would personally say if it was like a rental that I was renting, I would say just smoke out on the porch, especially if it's legal, because it's smoke. It's not something that's good for you to re-inhale if you're somebody else. But I don't know. In general, I think most people are okay with weed because it's, they don't have a lot of stuff saying that it's killing people like tobacco smoke. What do you guys think? It says, let's see here. No, officer, there's weed in it. Yeah, that's it. That's funny. Yeah, they come in, be like, no, there's no tobacco, sir. No, just weed. I promise. Oh, okay, you're free to go. Smoking is super gross, says Perpetually Awesome. I owned rental properties and always had to repaint after they moved out, even though I asked them to smoke outside, says Annette Lapau. Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's somebody else's house, if you own the house, then, smoke whatever you want in it. That's my opinion. But if you were renting a house, I would think that you'd be considerate anyways and just smoke everything outside. And they shouldn't make it illegal to smoke outside if it's legal. I think that's kind of crazy. Maybe the same rule that cigarettes, 25 feet. So if you need to smoke a joint at work or whatever, I'm not saying you should, but go 25 feet away from the door. Says, but you can crap in the street, only in San Francisco. That's Nunzia Businesses says that. Yeah, that's a perfect example. It says, what's their stance on crack smoke? They don't have one. They actually encourage it. Yeah. I've heard even like presidential candidates do as well. Let's see. Soul to Paul, mama of 6. We rented out our house once, never again. Sweet Rem says it's maybe safe to smoke if it's in a ceremony, like religiously protected. Yeah, I could see that as well. Smoke them if you got them. Big sexy van, LOL. Let's see. Oh, heavens. Kid smoked in his room, no effect on the walls, says Miss Dragon. I don't know. Is there even an effect on the walls? I would think there would be. Okay, now here's a trip and a half. What if the warning of all warnings came from actual native Inuit elders that have been historically super accurate at weather forecasting? This is kind of crazy. I did not know too much about the Inuit before this story, and I ended up looking into a bunch of things. Apparently, these tribes, or I guess you would call them tribes, are extremely good at calling the weather, and they look at nature, and they're very in tune. Well, the Inuit elders in 2 different areas of Canada are actually saying that they believe the world has shifted, saying that it is at a wobble and that it has actually changed, that the sun position and the stars have physically changed. And I have heard over and over again, thousands of people have emailed me and messaged me and said that this is something that they've noticed, or they've noticed the moon is in a different place, or the sun rises at a different place. And of course, there's no vindication for that. There's nothing to back it up, except for all the eyewitnesses, thousands of them, saying something is different about the sky. Now, I would like to ask you guys, have you noticed anything as far as the sky shifting? Something that you have as a landmark, like a telephone pole, or say a tower that you look at every day, and the star that's right next to it is always there at this time of the year, and it's not anymore. Because I feel like I have noticed a difference myself. I have noticed, and I have been swearing to myself that I'm crazy, because I feel like there's things that are not in the same place anymore. Now, I would love to ask you guys, have you ever felt that way, or am I legitimately crazy? And I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, no, you're crazy. Check this out. This is kind of freaky, because it makes me think of every end of the world movies, and how the simplest of people said, or the monk or somebody else says, no, this is it, like, just be ready. And nobody believed them because they were the monk or they were this. Inuit elders are warning the world and NASA that Earth has shifted. Check this out. It says, global climate change, the Earth has shifted, say Inuit elders. A new warning has come to NASA from the Inuits. They are warning that the change in climate is not due to global, but rather because of the Earth shifting a bit. It says the Inuits are a local people that live in the Arctic regions of Canada, the United States, and in Greenland. It says they are excellent weather forecasters, and so were their ancestors. So it goes back thousands of years that these people have actually gotten kind of their own system as far as forecasting the weather, and it's actually accurate. It says presently they are warning NASA that the cause of change in weather, earthquakes, etc. are not due to global heating, as the world thinks. It says they state that the Earth has shifted, or, quote, wobbled, and their sky has changed. Now, here's the trippy part. Unconnected, different tribes were saying the exact same things in different places in the world, and they all ended up connecting. And some of these, in some of these places, some of them are old school. They do not have any kind of connections, nothing else. And some of even the smaller tribes are not connected at all. And they ended up, a couple of gentlemen went to all these different places and asked their opinions on this. And they found that they do agree that the sky has been changing, and that they are personally preparing for something wild. I thought this was just nuts. This is like, this goes, they don't have any kind of influence. Some of these places, they don't have any influence from the outside. They don't think about warming or cooling or any of that. It says the elders declare that the sun rises at a different position now, not where it used to be previously. It says they also have longer daylight to hunt now. It says the sun is much higher than earlier, and it gets warmer much quickly. much more quickly. It says the other elders across the north also confirmed the same thing about the sky changing when interviewed. It says they also alleged that the position of the sun, moon, and stars have changed, causing changes in the temperature. This has also affected the wind, and it is very difficult to predict the weather now, and according to them, predicting weather is necessary on Arctic. All of the elders confirmed that the Earth has shifted, wobbled, or tilted toward the north. It says this information provided by the Inuit elders has caused a great concern in the NASA scientists. Is that a trip or what? Shouldn't NASA be able to say, oh, we have a reading right here that totally proves that wrong? Apparently not so much. Apparently there's some weight behind this, because in certain places in the world, visibility is a different, the atmosphere doesn't affect kind of the illusion of this kind of horizon things. Or is it a glitch in the matrix? Or is it proof for anybody that thinks that it's not a ball? I don't know. But what I do know is that this is creepy as hell. In fact, I'm going to go over to you guys. What do you guys think? It says NASA never has a straight answer, says Kiss the Sky. OMD, poles will be shifting. Is this actually something that is related to that? If you did not know, we've covered in the past, the poles are rapidly shifting towards Siberia, which is a trip, and who knows, is it affecting our wobble? All of these earthquakes in random and weird places that normally don't happen, is it because the earth is moved and those earthquakes usually would happen somewhere else are now like some sort of gyroscope and now happen under somewhere else because the earth has shifted? It is some pretty weird stuff. Says NASA hides information and so does the government. Cactus Patch Girl, that's a genius statement. I am being serious. It says not a space agency. NASA equals not a space agency. I didn't see who put that. I think earthquake in Japan affected tilt of Earth. You are absolutely right, Carol. It actually shortened our day, I believe, by a 0.0 millimeter second. It says, yes, moon is in a different place. So is the sun, says Donna Smith. Let's see. Smitty Jetson, Dirty Skies, California says, it's like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Stephen King's The Stand. Bring out your dead, bring out your dead. He's coming. Let's see. Your Bible predicts suns in the moon and stars before end, says Jordan Jamie Music. Isn't that a trip? It says the world started to tilt 2 degrees in 2012. It says it would make sense if the planet has come into the system, says Eckert. Keith Merchant is here. That is crazy. Steve M says the end is near. That flip, given history, can literally flip at any point. A lot of people believe that as well. A lot of volcanoes going off right now around the world. Who was that? Let's see here. Talon Morrison. That's awesome. Again, this wasn't to start arguments in certain communities there, but who knows? There could be very well be proof of that someday. We will all see. One thing that I say is that neither one of us has been to the space, to space, so really can't prove either way. Let's see here. All right, so I'm going to be going over here and making sure I pop over. Did want to make sure I say hi to you guys. Flight Train 420, thank you for following over on DLive. And then, of course, it looks like Kahaja Fly Girl has been here tonight. Thank you. And then Heretical Monk, thank you for subscribing for 3 months. That's a giant help. That is very generous of you. Thank you. Uper Viking, I would trust an Inuit elder before a scientist, says Uper Viking. I agree. At this point, I agree with you on that. Christina V, Dev Bear B, Red 1967, thank you for being here tonight. It looks like we have Mama of 6, Geisy, Comet Moon, Jump Master, and Maui Racing Realtor. End Times is in the house. What is going on, End Times? Nice to make your entrance here. Let's see here. The wobble is due to the lockdown weight gain, says Uper Viking. That's pretty funny. Jammer1 says 12/3/20 at noon. 23 degrees, 26 degrees, 11.6 tilt. Oh, I don't know if you're putting the current one so we can watch it. The Marf Dex mods and fam, says JStar Oregon. Thank you so much for your support tonight. Judy Dow and Moody Mama. What do you guys all think about this? Personally, it gives me the creeps, and it does kind of line up with what we have heard, but on a totally different spectrum as far as something that could happen. If you've ever watched Suspicious Observers, there are some folks that believe that has something tied in with the sun, and of course, they say that we are moving through space alongside all of these planets. People, a lot of people don't realize that it's not just in one place, that everything is moving. So kind of a trip to even think about. Or, they say that, but we've been lied to our entire lives. 5 B-52 bombers took off from North Dakota headed east. That is scary, end times. Perfect name for that comment. Cyber Canary and Trek Prepper, thank you for being here. While we're on a subject of Prepper, since I just said Prepper, I just want to let you guys know, I want to show you a channel real quick, and I want to make sure that you guys know about it. And one thing was very apparent to me tonight. One of the people that I did not know actually watches any kind of videos in this space. And they ended up saying that I asked them, who's your favorite in the SHTF department? And they said one of our good friends, Alaska Prepper. And the reason why is this person has basically been screwed over by their work because of CV. They're in a position where when CV happened, everybody in her line of work was basically laid off, screwed in a lot of ways. So I just wanted to show you, she said that it has been extremely helpful to have Alaska Preppers Payday Preps. Now, if you guys have never checked out this channel and you're new or newer, we have shouted him out and love mobbed him many times, but I am swearing to you, if you do not go over there and check him out, then you are missing out a huge amount of information. So he does these Payday Preps, which essentially is every 2 weeks when he gets paid from his normal job, he goes out and he spends the least he can to get a ton of stuff. So basically he's on a budget trying to prep and just doing it step by step. And this is something we've been telling you for 3 years, because we do believe SHTF is not a fictional story or a future far, far away. We believe it's very soon, and it's not biblical. We're not saying the end is near. We're saying something is near, and it's huge. And a lot of you guys feel that. A lot of you have had dreams. A lot of you have had premonitions. A lot of you have gut feelings, or a lot of you just follow what the hell is going on. Because honestly, you don't need to be a psychic. You don't need to be Zoltar to see what is happening in this world. I highly recommend looking at his Payday Preps. Those are really, really useful. We're talking about incredibly useful information. And especially right now, if you are not prepped, and if you are thinking to yourself that you are not prepped right now, then you need to get your butt in gear, like bad. And you don't have to take my word for it. It can just sit in the back of your head. I hope I planted a seed and you are starting to understand what is actually happening right now. Because the picture that they show you is way different from what is really going on. And that's not, I don't think you're crazy for believing that this is that, or this is this, or this that. I think we all have a level of common ground here that we think something is going on. So I hope you guys are subscribed to him. He is a really, really amazing man on and off camera. Make sure to go check him out. I hope that this number goes up by the end of the show, because I hope a lot of people are checking him out. He has worked really hard for those 80,000. We've watched him grow from basically nothing. I think when I first found him, he was at 8,000 subscribers. That was about a year ago. So he's growing fast. Don't be the last to follow. All right, and then End Times, thank you for letting us know about that. 5 B-52s leaving Dakota, headed east. That is creepy. We will look into it. In fact, Dex, I'm sure, is already in the background Googling stuff. Yanit Silvera, thank you so much. Just sub, Louisiana Skywatch, awesome. Dolores Liba, thank you. Pinch Runner, I appreciate all of you guys. Let's see here. Fluffy Puff, Donald Goodell, Robert E. Mall. Really appreciate that as well. All right, let's get into the first caller. Dex, I'm going to first off show you guys, if you have not already, you guys need to check out EMP Shield. If you want to genuinely protect yourself against an EMP, this is the company you need to go with. DOD, DHS, and other actual government agencies have already worked with these guys. EMP Shield is actually officially on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid, which again, Texas has a separate grid all on its own. They've chosen these guys. MarfoogleNews.com/EMP. It can protect against all three phases of an EMP, including E1, E2, and E3. And it can protect you against a natural solar flare, which we all know is due. So again, it's 100% American-made, veteran-owned business, and it is absolutely a lifesaver if this event happens. And most of the devices can be wired by yourself. Just make sure to check your local laws and listings there. MarfoogleNews.com/EMP. It helps the show, and it protects you. All right. Let's get into the first call, and then we're going to hit Damn You 2020. U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention thinks zombie apocalypse is possible. Yes, that's right. This office thinks it is actually possible. Again, the number for the phones are 224400-MARF. Just to remind you, that's 224400-6273. Remember to push option 4 when you get to our phone tree there, and you'll get Dex. Clot DNSY or QUT DSNY.
Hey, that's See You at Disney. And I'm trying to get See You at Disney on the line. And it looks like See You at Disney, you are now live.
Hello.
First
time caller, long time listener.
Well, thank you for calling. I totally butchered your name. It's spelled now
okay.
Yeah, it's phonetically. So See You at Disney. Got it. All right. Well, See You at Disney. Yeah. How are you doing?
Great, thanks. I'm so happy to be able to talk with you guys.
Well, I'm happy to have you here. So what's been going on?
Thank you.
It looks like you have some subjects.
I was listening the other night. Well, I listen to your show all the time, but, I'm here in New York, so it's 11:30 for me, and normally I'm in bed. So I always catch you the next morning. But anyway, I was listening to your show the other night regarding the topic of the military reading people's thoughts. So we all know if the military is talking about something outwardly now, and it's in the news as being researched, they've already been doing it for a while. But I think they've been conducting this research on the New York City subway system for like at least 5 years. The reason why I say this is because I'm not like psychic or anything, but I am intuitive. I document my dreams that come true. I'll say something and holy cow, it happens. So anyway, I'm also a nurse, and for a while I was working in my hometown of the Bronx over in New York City. I moved out to Long Island, and I commuted back and forth using the train and the subway. While sitting or standing on the subway, most of the times it would happen on my way home when it was more crowded, I would feel something. It was kind of like the feeling of somebody watching you, except it's more intrusive. It's like right away you feel like is someone reading my mind? It's just such a weird feeling. And the reason why I know that feeling is because, and I'm sure many married couples or people who have been together, best friends, sisters, brothers, the feeling that you're kind of feeling what somebody's thinking, and or you can finish somebody's sentence. Well, it was like that with me and my ex-husband I was married to for 20 years. And I decided, because I didn't want him reading my mind, because, now he's my ex, but so I decided I'm going to try something. So I started to sing songs in my head. Whenever I got that feeling, I would always sing a song. And my ex-husband wouldn't know, he wouldn't bring up a topic that was on my mind, or I just noticed that it worked. So while I was on the subway, and I would just because I'm an operating room nurse and I just really, after a long day, just want to veg and not think. And I would get that feeling and I'd open my eyes and I kind of look around to see if anybody was looking at me. I didn't really notice anything. So I would just start to sing songs. And I know I know it kind of sounds crazy, but I'm sure there are other people out there that can verbalize exactly what I'm trying to. It's just something weird. It's not something you hear anybody say that, oh yeah, this guy was trying to read my mind. But I'm telling you, I think they've been doing it for a while now. The last time I was in the city on the subway after work was back in 2016. But that's my opinion. I think they've been doing it for a while.
Well, so first off, I don't think you're crazy. And you know what, all marketing and all Facebook and everything else, their main goal, and they have put billions and billions of dollars into predicting everything, from predicting what you want to buy next, from what you like, from what things you may like. If you think about Netflix and any other service, they go, you may like this. Google saying,
oh yeah, I hate
you
that.
may want this, or you may like to see this. You've watched this, so we think you'll like this. That's just on some of the commercial end of it. Every single government in the world, if they have a dark black project, it is guaranteed trying to get into the minds of people, because think about how powerful that is. And now that there is actual advancements in reading what our brain waves are saying, so now they can actually register from outside our head a brainwave. When we stand up, it sends a brainwave out, and that brainwave is now readable. They know that brainwave is standing. Somebody is sitting, that brainwave is sitting. They even know the brainwave that is breathing. So imagine if they could reverse that, tell the brain, stop breathing. Think about that on the warfield, but also think about that in the terms of controlling the masses, controlling populations, especially during hard times or catastrophe. If something happens, if we have some sort of horrible disaster, a meteor strikes, they could control everyone. So I don't think you're crazy, and people like you are afraid to talk about your feelings. But watch, in 10 years, it's declassified that the New York subway was doing, experiments on people with people not knowing.
Do you think that my solution of singing a song, do you think that might affect the, how you said that they can tell if you're standing up or sitting down or whatever? Do you think that interrupting the signal, do you think that might help? I mean, I never talked about this with anybody, so it's crazy, but that's just what I do. I sing a song in my head. And what do you think?
If that was the case, then they may say this is useless information and move on to somebody else. They don't need to know a song.
Yeah, that's what we want, right?
But you're trying to, but you may be singing a song, but your brain is probably thinking three things at the same time. So I don't know if it would technically help if it was truly, being read, but again, you never know. I don't know what to say about that.
Right.
But I think that later on we'll find out. We are guinea pigs. And by the way, there was some weird shutdowns. The New York subway had some really weird shutdowns in the last couple of years. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, yes, you are right. My daughter lives in the city and in Astoria, and she's always, oh God, we had to get up and, get off the train and then go up to the street and then take another train. And so, yeah, they've had, one time right outside her building, they had in Manhattan, I think 38th Street, there's a subway station right below her, and they had cops there, the bomb squad there. They roped off the area. There were guys in hazmat suits. But, of course, she didn't know what was going on, even though she asked. That's none of her business. There's always something going on the subway.
Can I ask you, what is New York like right now?
What?
Traveling around, is it empty? Is it dead streets? Or?
Well, it was. I went down to Times Square in May with my husband. He had a job, and I was me and the naked cowboy and maybe one or two other people were the only ones in Times Square. And you know what else? One of the big screens that overlooks Times Square had this creepy eyeball that was moving back and forth watching everybody. I took a video of it. It was so weird. But now walking around, my daughter's working right outside Penn Station and on 8th Avenue. And she said, well, number one, the homeless are everywhere. Whatever the city was brought up to greatness in the late 80s and 90s, it has been brought back down again. People are just urinating and defecating. The homeless are everywhere. They're running around. Dogs are running around. My daughter said there's this one drug dealer. It's like everybody's, the criminals have taken over. There's a drug dealer in her area, and he just has this pack of pit bulls, and they just run around. One time, she said she saw one of the pit bulls go over to some guy and pee on his leg. I mean, it's not as crowded anymore. My husband goes in once a week. I haven't been in there since May. I don't want to go back in there, even though I'm from there. But it's really, I'd say there's a quarter people what it used to be. It's down to maybe, like a quarter of the people that are normally walking around. But the criminals are walking around, so that's great.
Yeah, and not going to jail when they get caught. So, well, thank you.
That's right.
Thank you, See You at Disney, and it's your first time call. I hope it's not your last. Fascinating call, and of course, you're always welcome here. And that's the thing. We are afraid to speak out and talk about this kind of stuff because we are going to be judged, or people are going to whisper about us. Though I don't want those people around. If you see them in chat, or that's why we have the rules. We don't talk badly about anybody, including other creators. That's why we do that. We don't talk about the callers. We don't talk about anybody because we should have a safe spot here to be able to speak our mind and be able to come out with some of that stuff. It's
the best. You and Dex run an awesome show. I've been listening for years. I think, remember Tyler from Secure Team? I think that's where I first learned of you, and then I came over and subscribed.
So that's very, very
early.
Thank you. That's early. So thank you so much for being here so long. And see you at Disney. I will see you in chat, and much love.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Johnny Dundalis, God is using signs and wonders for everyone to come back to him. Confess your sins that Jesus is Lord and Savior. If it's not too late, says Johnny Dundalis. Thank you for the amazing support and the amazing comment. Sealed by the blood, let's see here, says, hey fam, love you all. Jesus is coming. Joe Avila, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you subscribe during the show, I will shout you out. Keith and Queen Brat says, hey Adam, coming to you live from Yellowstone. Shout out to my amazing bride, the Queen Brat. Can't stay up. We'll watch tomorrow. That is, and it says, Queen Brat, who I am missing very much. Much love and keep prepping. So Keith and Queen Brat, Keith will be trucking across the country, and Queen Brat will shout him out because he's watching on his phone while he's listening. And then, of course, Queen Brat, they both go back and forth and shout each other out. Super sweet. It's another thing that makes me smile every time I get on. Thomas the Fam was actually the one that said, puff, puff, pass. Says, love you all. Can't stay up. We'll watch tomorrow. Thomas the Fam, thank you. Your streams have been very awesome and busy, so thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come by. Susan Donahue, Adam, Dex, Mod Squad, and Foogle Fam, with many thanks and much love. We are #Team Humanity. We do not consent. Susan is Foogle Fam royalty, so just know that. I got her back. Dan L. Values, where did the magnetic pole go? Says Dan L. Values. That's a good question. D. Matthew Mondragon, thank you, and welcome to the Foogle Fam. You are now in a safe space. Nikki in Hickavoy, thank you for being the last one out last time. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. Let's see here. Dev B. Bear, thank you. Or Dev Bear B, thank you so much. Marf family, safe spot. The truth is out there. Just look at the Christmas tree. It says it all. Airlines are strong arming passengers now. Airlines are strong arming passengers now, says Jody Cattle Dogs. Huh. Let's see here. Reading the gospel. Thank you for being here tonight. Kahaja Fly Girl. Yeah, it's late here, Adam. Kahaja, I'm so sorry that the East Coast is again, it's not even 9 here tonight in the Pacific West Coast. Sorry about the midnight show, guys. And then reading the gospel, again, thank you. We are going to do earlier shows. The plan is to get more earlier shows, at least 6 o'clock, so it's 9 o'clock start, 11 o'clock finish. So, unfortunately, can't do that every time. All right, let's see here. Nomad, thank you for gifting subs. Appreciate that. And P. Dubler. Thank you guys, everybody that is supporting the show. Also know, though, right now we're getting pulled negative. Again, don't know what's going on. If you want to help the show, make sure you're subscribed. You may actually type in the name, and you may just assume you're subscribed. Do not assume you're subscribed to not just me, anybody in your list. I don't know how it happens, but people have their accounts, and sometimes they will unsubscribe. I don't get it. I didn't offend anybody. I didn't just yell and scream. You don't lose that many people. See, one thing that the smaller YouTubers don't get, and it affects much more, is they don't realize that us big YouTubers, say if we gain 1,000 a day, that means we've actually lost 2,000 a day, but we've lost 1,000 a day, but we've gained 2,000. So we get 1,000 a day or whatever. But then it comes down. There's times, and it's especially around Christmas. I don't know if it's because they have higher ad dollars or something, but they pull everybody out, and they are not subscribed. We get these emails every year for the last 3 years. Everybody's unsubscribed. It's like they have some sort of thing that makes sure that we don't get over a certain amount. Statistically speaking, looking at analytics, it's weird. But we normally go get anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 a month new people. And we lose a lot of people too. But that number has gone down to 0 and then negative out of nowhere. Isn't that weird? 3 years of records, and then all of a sudden, boom. And I believe it's because when we used to be live, we have 3,000-4,000 people, it would suggest it to people that are watching live shows, and it just automatically, they get popped in. They stopped that, I believe. So we really, really appreciate you guys if you help us by sharing this out with your friends and family. Share it on Facebook. Share it on any social media that you can. Twitter. You can make a difference because we have a project that's coming up that will make a difference. People think that we're not covering this or covering that. We are trying to float by until we can get this done. We are trying to provide a space so people can prep and meet in state groups. So that is my purpose, and I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to stick through the hard times, just like I have for the last 3 years. Famous writer, thank you so much. Ethan says, hello, Adam. Tell your son that we all appreciate him, and says, Ethan sends hugs, Adam. Well, Ethan, thank you for watching, and thank you to all the Foogle families out there that are watching together. Rena Lee, thank you. Truth is out there. Thank you for gifting 5 subscriptions out. Thank you. Giving out the Marfia badge. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. So if the cattle and prevention thinks that zombie apocalypse is possible, what the hell isn't? Says the agency's guidelines for such an apocalypse were written by Rear Admiral Ali S. Khan, who has been leading the CDC Office Public Health Preparedness and Response since 2010. It was released almost a decade ago, but discovered by the media only now. It says that these guys, just highlight that real quick, has a plan for a zombie apocalypse. Yes, you read that correctly. The gory events that you have seen in countless movies and are apparently not only a product of the imagination of Hollywood writers, but something that these guys deem may happen in reality. Knock on wood. It says, according to the guideline titled Preparedness 101, Zombie Apocalypse, the most important thing to assemble in an emergency kit, which among other things includes water, food, mostly non-perishable items that one eats regularly, tools and supplies such as knives, duct tape, battery-powered radio, sanitation and hygiene, a change of clothes for each family member, and blankets. Important documents such as driver's license and passport, first aid, supplies to treat basic cuts and lacerations that you might get during a tornado or hurricane. Sputnik's team would also advise that you purchase several flamethrowers, chainsaws, and machetes. Says Ali S. Khan, the author of the guidelines, notes that the emergency kit would not only be useful during a zombie apocalypse, but in other situations like earthquakes, floods, typhoons, and of course the current pandemic. It says, after assembling the emergency kit, writes Dr. Khan, one needs to come up with an emergency plan, where to go when an apocalypse starts, and who to inform when zombies show up at your door. According to Khan, one should not be afraid if such an event occurs, as is ready for the challenge. First, the federal agency would provide technical assistance to cities, states, and international partners dealing with a zombie infestation. So, first of all, zombies are crazy fictional things, right? This is just stupid, right? Well, apparently, they have seen viruses that have affected the brains. Mad cow disease is something that, most people used an example for. Or rabies, a rabid dog or a rabid animal. They are still functional where they can walk around, but they're aggressive. And they just want to bite. They want to, kill. They're not thinking straight, but they still have bodily functions like running and attacking and eating. I'm not saying that zombie infestation is the next thing that's coming down the line, but what I am saying is that this is a perfect example of them preparing for something that is unlikely. So why don't we prepare for most things that are actually likely? But on another note, as a terror attack, they could, and they have been able, and I bet you behind closed doors, they've been able to design something that they can flip the switch on and turn people into aggressive, just uncredible, all logic. Everything that we've talked about over the last 2 weeks has actually flipped the switch in my head that says there's a lot of things that are possible here. With the advantages and the advances with quantum computing and connecting our brains to computers and all of these things that are coming out as we speak, this is something that scares me because there is a reality to our Hollywood stuff. There's a reality to zombies. So it kind of makes me laugh because I made fun of a couple of my friends I thought it was cool. I was calling them a geek out of love, like, that's awesome. But I have friends that actually have a break glass in case of zombies kit, and it looks professional. They made it like real. It has axes, it has a 9, it has all this stuff, and it actually has printed glass. It says break in case of zombies. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. First of all, it looked cool. It had a sword, a this or that. It was just all the weapons. Weapons out of a movie. But now in other countries, they have tested, and not to mention, the only advantage that somebody with less military might or military power that some of these countries say that they have is viral. If they released something and they would take us out that way. It turns out that this zombie stuff is actually something that could not only be portrayed, but it would turn us into our own weapons against each other. Isn't that crazy? Something that Hollywood has done so much that we think of as a joke and we don't take seriously whatsoever. But yet we know about things like mad cow disease and rabies and things like this. Imagine if that was a 6'5" human being, 280 pounds running at you. I know a lot of people, this triggers them and they go, this is stupid, this is dumb. I would do some research into it. The more you do, there's other countries that are actually having their weapons groups looking into this very thing. So I'm not saying be scared of it. Hell, heavens no. But I would say pay attention to this, because stuff is actually changing as far as what we would accept as crazy or as silly. Dex, I know you're prepared for zombies.
Always.
Dex, so monotone. Yeah, always. Sure. Hexagonal Peach, thank you for being here. Uber Viking, a vegan's worst nightmare. Flank 23, thanks for following. Welcome to the Foogle fam. It's nice to have you. And then we have police in Jackson, Mississippi want access to live home security video, alarming privacy advocates. That's right. Jackson, Mississippi police officers want to be able to see your home cameras in your home. But on top of that, we've actually called this. We talked about this, how Amazon filed a patent for this design that would have facial recognition. We talked about the connections on how they're already using cameras all over the place, like say a 7-Eleven or a business. They would get paid $500 a month by the police department to let them access their cameras. But not only this, they were offering it to citizens. So if you have a Door Ring camera, which is all online, they could access those cameras. Now they're coming up with a mass system that not only has facial recognition, but they will put in TOS and things like this. This is soon going to go out as mandates to where a lot of people already have these, and it's going to be slow, incremental changes. And then all of a sudden, every single security camera you put up to protect your house is now the eye of Big Brother. So say you have a cousin comes over, you don't know, but your cousin apparently has a bench warrant for not showing up to he crashed into a pole or something. All of a sudden, police are at your door because facial recognition picked him up coming over for Thanksgiving. Most people that say, oh, well, I'm not a criminal, so I have nothing to worry about. This shouldn't happen. This shouldn't be even something that why are we dipping into this? Again, strapped for cash and facing a sharp rise in homicides, city leaders are expanding police surveillance powers to allow residents and business owners to send live feeds from many types of security cameras. See, here's the thing. They're going to say it's convenient. It's going to help protect you. You're going to want to do it. You say, where do I sign up? I want to give my Ring doorbell to them. And there's always going to be that block snitch. Somebody that, well, I want to do my duty. I'll give them mine. And then 3 houses down, I want to give them mine. There shouldn't be, we shouldn't have to have this in residential neighborhoods, but this is what's going to happen. Birdbanger, zombie lives matter. I bet they voted too. That was bad. Zombieland a Prepper. Must watch. Zombieland a Prepper. I will check it out. The truth is out there. Great suggestion. Badger Babe. I remember when this was done because I'm old. LOL. Isn't that funny? Famous Writer, thank you again. Thanks for all your support tonight. Morning Flower, thank you for being here. Truth is out there. Thanks for gifting subs. What do you guys think about cameras in your neighborhood and having the police monitor them? Who knows? Maybe some people like it. Russia's Okhotnik unmanned combat air vehicle tests air-to-air missiles. Says the Flying Wing drone has apparently begun tests carrying air-to-air missile surrogates for a planned, quote, fighter interceptor role. It says Russia's Okhotnik unmanned combat air vehicle, or UCAV, has reportedly been flight tested with air-to-air missiles for the first time. While details remain limited, if true, this could be a significant development for a Flying Wing strike drone, which Russia hopes to have in service as early as 2024. Again, Remember what I said? Everything's by 2024. I don't know why. I just see it a lot. Maybe it's just like when you see on the clock 11:11 or 1:2:3:4. I always see this, and I'm like, why is it always by 2024? It's never 2026, never 2030. You guys remember what I said about that? How many articles have we covered where it says it's going to be ready by 2024? What happens in 2024? And why in 2025 does Deagle say that we're going to lose two-thirds of our population? Just saying. Weird. From the airstrip of the military airfield of the Russian Aerospace Forces Combat Training and Combat Application Center at the Ushuluk Training Range, the Okhotnik performed several flights with functional simulators of guided air-to-air missiles, a source within Russia's military-industrial complex told RIA. It says, in the combat version of the drone, such missiles are designed to destroy other aircraft. So at some point, this is going to be drone versus drone and plane versus plane, but this thing is not. This is not an air to land type of thing. It's both. So it can drop stuff and it can take out our aircraft. So they don't even have to risk a human life. What's crazy is these drones are becoming our forces. Think about that. What if we had a conflict in the future that was no humans at all? And then you start getting into AI, and it's like now you're having AI bots fight AI bots. This is Terminator. This is freaking Terminator, people. It's crazy. Cat Dog Cat, when zombies were popular, entices kids to prep. Badger Babe, great point. Bird Banger, thank you again. Lots of craziness. Watch music video, The Will of the People. What music video that creeps me out is the video. We might actually play it over on D Live at some point. I want you guys to listen to the lyrics of that song that's big right now. I was all okay when the earthquake happened. That song, creepy as hell. If you guys want to support us in a different way and protect yourself, there are more cyber hackers right now than ever before. The reason why is because more people are on their home computers and doing business from home than ever in history. And that means there's a lot more criminals to take advantage of that. If you have a good credit score or even a life that you do not want stolen by identity thieves, you should be on a private virtual network. Again, you can go through Nord. It's one of the highest rated. That's why you see it on some of the biggest YouTube channels in the world. We're actually lucky to have them as one of our affiliates. Again, go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. That's again, marfooglenews.com/VPN. You'll get up to 70% off while helping the show. So you get a huge discount and help your favorite channel. That's again, savings code Marfoogle. Don't forget, marfooglenews.com/VPN. All right, before we get to the killer robot and the assassination of Iranian scientist feeds conflicting accounts, which, by the way, 2 big events just happened that could put us in WW3. We'll hit that here in a second. Dex, let's get over to the phones, and then let's let in, looks like, Emperor Rex. The number is 224400 otherwise known as 2244006273. Make sure to press option 4 when you get to the phone tree. Emperor Rex, LVC.
Good morning, Marv.
How are you doing? A shift in the sun and the moon.
Me? Yes.
Go ahead.
If you was to go to my website, on my channel on YouTube, I'm in upstate New York, and I visually see the sun and the moon on a regular. My my YouTube channel is spelled the same way. Emperor, Rex, L, V, C. Anyway, I called you about 2 years ago about Major Island. And, but now to reinforce the Inuits, what they're saying, I have videos that I'm taking on almost for a year through every month of the different positions of where the sun is. And when you go through the channel at your own time and pace, you'll see over a distance time of where the sun is. I even have it where the moon is in front of the sun in the daytime. And oh, by the way, I also do have that hexagonal fractured, you know how they say the sun was refracting and double hexagon? Yeah, that's the site. So they're in different ones. But as you scroll through, like you could choose any one of them and you'll see there was the moon that was viewable. The sun was right there. And this is at 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, you know, yeah, choose any one you want. I'll let you talk because I can't hear you at the moment.
I'm not speaking. I'm just listening. So basically what you are saying is that you are doing exactly what the Inuit elders are saying. You feel the same way to the point where you've been recording where these things are every single day. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's a lot of people like you that feel like something's different.
You can play anyone. Yeah. Well, I ain't an artist, but a video, but you can see like there's the sun and you'll see all the, they spray over us constantly, but yeah, sorry about that. And then you'll see the moon too. And some of them I'll have where I'll show the parking lot deck and the ground, and the windows will reflect the sun, and on the ground it'll show a hexagon, the double hexo pattern. So I call that my trifecta, you know, things like that. But yeah, so that's what I had been doing while I had clear weather. Now the weather is bad. So if anybody wanted to see any others that look like that, that's the site. It's not for views. It's just because I saw it and you inspired me to do something else, Mark. So I ain't going to be long on your call. There's more videos that was up there.
Well,
they was going to take it down. Yeah.
Well, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Emperor, by the way, it was very easy. At first, when you said it was empire.rex.l. whatever, if you actually type in emperor.rex, I understand that. When you type it in, it is it's actually very easy to find. So viewers, if you want to find Emperor Rex, just type in emperor.rex and it comes up right away. It's got this gentleman on a horse as the profile picture, and he's got tons of videos backing up exactly what people were saying. And look at this. He's got hundreds of videos. Most of them, no views. So he's doing this out of the general want to actually, to document this. Well, thank you, Emperor Rex. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Peace and blessings upon everybody. Y'all have a good night.
Well, thank you so much. And again, we'll be sending the Foogle fam. Thank you so much for posting, and thanks for putting work into it. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Peace.
So I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be going over to Emperor Rex. I think it would make more sense if you're watching it regularly, or you're looking at it and you're saying, hey, that doesn't belong there, and then pop over to this channel. Again, that was emperor.rex. I thought it was going to be hard, but when you put that dot in, it's actually really simple to find. Let me just see here. And he's already doubled in subscribers. He's up to 70. He was at 35, I believe. I don't even know what he was at, but yeah, now he's at 70. The Foogle fam rolls strong, so in fact, I'm curious about all these videos. If somebody was scientific, I bet you they could go pull the information out, figure out where it's at, and actually find out if it is moving. Look at that, 104 subscribers. That's awesome. All right, let's see here. We're going to get into the next one. We'll check on Emperor Rex at the end of the show. I think that a lot of Foogle family members are curious about what's going on. I think that those are all people that agree that something's weird with it. All I do know is that when I see somebody post 100 videos and nobody's watching and they're not doing it for views, those are the people I like to support. So that's really cool. 135 subscribers. You just gained 100 in 10 minutes. That's awesome. All right, let's go back to the news. Let's see here. Killer Robot Okay, so it's hard to read some of this stuff because it's obvious reasons. That blue word is one of the massive, like, we raised the flag and now we are looking at you. Out of the millions of videos, we're going to knock you off first. Humiliated by the taking out of a top nuclear scientist, these officials sought this week to rewrite the attack as an episode of science fiction. Had executed him entirely by remote control, spraying bullets from an automated machine gun propped up in a parked Nissan without a single assassin on the scene. Even hardliners mocked this new spin. It says, why don't you just say Tesla built the Nissan, it drove by itself, parked by itself, fired the shots, and blew up by itself? One hardline social media account said, are you like us doubting this narrative? Since the taking out of this scientist on Friday, contradictory reports in the official news media about the escape or even existence of a hit team, along with assertions of prior warnings from the Interior Ministry about the attempt. It says, revealed tensions between competing intelligence from down to the store, as each sought to dodge blame for an egregious security lapse. It says that the Rainan officials also have vowed to avenge the scientist Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, a high-ranking official in the defense ministry. It says that the prospect of a counter against or the West threatens to hamper efforts by the incoming B administration, or the so-called incoming, to revive a nuclear agreement with Iran. One thing that is, Dex, what do you make of this? As far as what do you think that? Do you think that I thought that was pretty good sarcasm?
Yeah, I thought anything's believable at this point, but it's also kind of crazy to hear these wild stories. But who knows, right? Like, I'd almost believe the Tesla story, to be honest.
Actually, we've covered things like it, like the Jack in the Box pop-up machine gun. That's actually a thing. It has a military name. They drop a crate and then a remote control 50 cal pops out of it. I'm sure our military group here, we've got over 5. I mean, we have way more than that, but we have actively, we know we had signed up for our service, 500 active and retired military. And when I showed that on the show, they actually knew how to use it. You're talking about a 50 cal controlled by an Xbox controller, a real Xbox controller, mind you, not something that DARPA designed. It was literally an Xbox controller that controls a 50 cal gun that can basically put a hole in you this big. Insanity. And this is what they're fighting with over wherever they're fighting now. They are, they're always fighting, whether or not we know about it. So it says his death, the Mr. Fakhrizadeh, or as I like to say it, Mr. Lowrider. I don't know why I did that. His death was at least the 4th assassin this year of a high-profile figure under the protection of this country's security services, beginning with the American drone strike that took out Soleimani. I think they spelled Soleimani wrong. I actually think that that's spelled wrong. I might be wrong. But either way, they have not retaliated yet. And there is a big retaliation in the making. That's what experts are saying. That's what our military group is saying. Not only this, just want to remember the facts of it. Our president said, after Soleimani was taken out, he said that the reason they did it, and who knows if we can believe what the official narrative is, but they said that there was something equivalent to 2001 times 10 that was going on. The plan was far surpasses what happened in 2001, and he was the head guy. So they targeted 2 people. Soleimani was taken out. The other, his right-hand man, did not got taken out. They missed. They missed the second one. So after that happened, it was technically saying that even though Soleimani's gone, that doesn't mean the threat is gone. His right-hand man is going to continue this 2001 plan. We still don't know what's actually going on. There are things in the Situation Room in the White House that happen every day, and it's far crazier than anything we're going to know about. This is why I ask you to prepare. Are they going to give you a warning that somebody's going to hit up a mall and take everybody out? Are they going to give you a warning if somebody puts a car boomer underneath a major building downtown Seattle or downtown Detroit? No. Are they going to tell you that they're about to go after Florida? They're about to go after Michigan? They're about to go after Oregon? Are they going to tell you in the next 2 months that they're going to attack those areas? No. So you should be prepared. Dallas, you should be prepared wherever you're at. Dallas, Oregon, Florida, Michigan, California, Southern California. Gets a new missile boat as tensions surge. Of course, we cover all of the military news as far as, new technology, new boats, new carriers, things like this. And it says it just received the first of its new missile boats on Wednesday, with a top naval officer telling AFP the fleet upgrade, quote, dramatically improves the country's ability to counter regional rivals, including, the man. The procurement of 4 naval vessels and 3 submarines from German industrial giant ThyssenKrupp has been the subject of a long-running corruption probes involving top allies of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The ship itself is a key part of the major upgrade to the Jewish state's naval systems, says IS's head of naval operations, Rear Admiral, said. We'll be following all the new stuff. Again, we're watching for you, and we try to let you know about the important stuff. I believe that this is another step in the wrong direction, right direction depending on how you look at it, or depending on where you live. Check this out. Putin orders a large-scale V in Russia. This is big stuff. Not only that, the Pfizer, there's many things on this note that are getting done right now. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday ordered the start of a large-scale CV by late next week, with doctors and teachers to be the first in line to receive the Sputnik V ding-dings, which have yet to complete advanced studies needed to ensure its effectiveness and safety in line with established scientific protocols. Putin's statements come after Britain became the first country in the West to authorize the use of CVs from U.S. drug maker Pfizer and Germany's BioNTech. I don't know why I put an accent on the BioNTech, but Sputnik V has been touted in Russia as the world's first registered, and it says after it received regulatory approval in early August, however, giving the government go-ahead drew considerable criticisms from experts because at the time they had only been tested on several dozen people. Just so you know, there's been several vaccines that have actually not been tested barely at all, that have gone through 1 or 2 days of testing. You look into it. It's pretty crazy to actually find out. It says this gives us the opportunity to start, if not mass, but large-scale vaccination. The world, right? Need everybody in the world to get it. That's the goal. We need everybody in the world to get this thing. How do they do that? You know what else would be super useful is if they actually did something to every single human being that tracked them. Wouldn't that be super helpful? Like if you were doing like logistics and stuff and you wanted to, basically like good stuff, right? Happy stuff, like move everybody around and save the planet. We need to save the planet. Really, we need people to be tracked. We need people to be in big areas and then leave all the rest of it unused. Let the earth grow back. Just making sure that my sarcasm is sensed, because I know other countries' cultures are not so good on picking up on that. I know this from the comments. What do you think? Speaking of what you think, Mo Pfeiffer, cousin to Faiza, has subscribed. Welcome to the family, Mo. EOD Vet, thank you. It says, if you follow Naughty Beaver, let's see here. And by the way, that is a funny guy, good channel. Not at all what his name you would think it means. Hold the heck on here. Trying to... Don't know why here, but this... No fear, just faith, says the truth is out there. That's awesome. Hold on here. Hummer, thank you for your support. I don't know if that was a super sticker, but you can always write something with that. Sean Blewett, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the fam. And See You at Disney says, thank you, Dex and Adam, for letting me talk about recognizing the possibility of someone, quote, reading my mind. My husband is a good listener, but it felt good to talk about it with you guys. See You at Disney, we run into that almost every day. People are basically shunned for having any kind of opinion that sounds crazy. But look at this. Things that we thought were crazy 100 years ago are now life. Things that we thought were crazy in the 80s are now in our pockets. Things that we thought were science fiction 10, 20 years ago are now in everybody's possession. So don't ever think that you're crazy, especially when it comes to something that could be changed with a technological advancement. I would never put it past for them to do that. Shane Reed, it's so nice to see you here tonight, and thank you so much for your generous support of the show. Thank you for supporting Independent. Lawrence Lozier says, Deuteronomy 28:24, the Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon us until thou be destroyed. Iron 60, says Lawrence Lozier. That is pretty crazy. Deuteronomy 28:24, that's a good one. All right. We have another caller lined up, by the way. First, I'm going to read about these bobcats. It says, it's working. From bobcats to bears, Utah's first wildlife bridge is a hit, and they have video to prove it. So I've actually seen a couple of these in Washington, and once they started making them, they actually worked really, really well. It says, for wildlife researchers, it demonstrates that all the time that it takes for animals to adapt to using wildlife overpasses may be years shorter than first anticipated. From what we can tell, the number of accidents there is down dramatically. At least initially, it appears that investment in safety is paying off, Utah DOT spokesman John Gleason told the Salt Lake Tribune in 2019. Quote, and we expected it to take several years before the animals got used to using it. So this is great. It says completed in 2018 by Utah's Department of Transportation and costing $5 million. That's right, $5 million. They said that the wildlife overpass was lobbied for by a group called Save People, Save Animals, after a particular stretch of I-180 was unfortunately dubbed Slaughter Row due to the large number of traffic collisions with crossing wildlife. Now, that's not only killing the animals, that's people. If you've ever... I was in a car when I was a kid that hit a buck, and the car was just crumpled. It was very scary. It was like we ran into a brick wall. If you hit a big enough animal, you're dead. And then my ex and good friend Nikki, her dad died by hitting a buck. I believe it was a buck because he had big horns. And that buck, the horns went through her dad's chest. Well, her and her 3 brothers were all in the car, and they watched their father pass away, stabbed or impaled by a buck. Very scary thing that happened. Incredibly scary. In fact, one of the brothers that witnessed that, I just told you guys about a couple weeks ago, was actually his only full son with the same woman, and he ended up passing away. So pretty, he was actually killed, murdered, and stabbed, ironically. But yeah, crazy stuff. And so these bridges are a good thing. I've seen many in Washington pick up, and I hike a lot. And when you see them being used way more, it's kind of crazy. It's like the animals adapt and they know to go over it. This is a good thing, in my opinion. It says not only are the animals using it instead of crossing the highway further down the corridor, but they are treating it like their natural habitat. A cougar was recorded scratching and stretching on one of the logs. It wouldn't do which it wouldn't do in a stressed state. It says collisions with cars are a real danger to millions of animals, but even 15 years ago, there were already more than 700 terrestrial and aquatic wildlife crossing points in North America, with more and more being built every year, including the largest in the world, to help California's isolated mountain lion populations, which is to be completed in 2021. So there's, again, if you go to this website from ours, you'll be able to watch videos. You'll be able to watch pictures of, or watch pictures. Yeah, just watch the pictures. Yeah, I try.
I got a deer trail over here that needs one of those bridges.
There's an area where there's constantly an accident. I have a friend that's a firefighter, says that the same corner in Washington has so many accidents of people coming around the corner, and there's always deer families. And because of the laws and things, there's always family of deer here. So there's no protection for them, but they always hit. And this is in a residential area, so they hit all the time. I think they've lost like 3 or 4 people just in the last 2 years, people dying in accidents around that same corner. So, I mean, I think, humans are going to grow and humans are going to take over the land. Got to figure something out. On another note, if you don't want to be tracked and traced, highly recommend. And if we were all doing this, man, think about this. Think about what's going on. First of all, they have uploaded things onto your phone without your knowledge. Any new iPhone and any new Samsung. You can try this at home. Go to your settings, go to health. You will see that there is an actual tracker that they say is off by default that is tracking you due to this current event. It's contact tracing, right? All good, right? That's fine. But did you know that it was on your phone, and did you know it was put there? Not all people believe that can be turned off truly. In fact, there's some things that cannot be in the E911 chip and all of these other things. So I don't have to explain to you, but if you do want to truly go off-grid anywhere you go, get an E-Deck bag. If you start doing it by habit, then nothing can be used against you. MarfoogleNews.com/eDeck. These are amazing bags. Once your phone or device is in it, it goes offline. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. Anyways. All right, let's get our next caller. Let's see here. Whoops. Looks like we have Paula, who is a first-time caller. Attrition. She has a vid. Let's see here. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, Dex. And can you explain? I guess she'll explain, says.
Yeah, Adam, I'm trying to get her on the line. She's got a couple videos. She's just going to talk about them. You don't have to necessarily play them. You could show them. But we're trying to get Paula on the line right now.
Okay, no worries. In the meantime, Shane Reed, again, thank you. Super awesome to see you guys here. Let's see here. Over on D Live, thank you, and thank you. Flawlessly by Christ says, spoiler alert, God wins. Stony Blaine, Mick Blaze a lot. Your name always screws me up. Thank you for being here. Philosopher, thank you for gifting out subs on DLive. Thank you for giving out, I see all Marfia badges. That's awesome. Grant Tharper, thank you. Famous writer, again. You and Ethan are awesome. Thank you for being here. Oh my, in Thunder Bay, we are at least 10 visitors a year to Moses, and the hospital have to look after them. Carolyn Winkle says, I love my E-Deck bag. It is in it all the time while I'm at work. Think about that. They also can't access it at all. Wi-Fi is killing me, says Tricky Who. Shane Reed, you guys rock. Thank you. At Rizar, swarms are so common there, it's boring, says Moonlight. Truth Seeker, we've got Fear Porn is here tonight. Love his screen name. Blue Bottled Bunny Farm. Hello. And then it looks like Lisa is here. Lisa R. Hall. We, of course, just a shout out to Jay Stone, Rip Curl, West Virginia Prepared Mind, Alish, CJ Blaze, Menacing Muskrat, Overbuilt Automotive, D Nice and Papa Neil, Minionator, Green Bay Lady, Vladis Maximus, Donna's Home Place, Tennessee. By the way, guys, mods, pop into the Foogle mod room after the show. I just need to know if you guys are good, if you guys are okay, as far as if you guys have enough people or what. The Recalcitrant, hey Marf, what is going on? LB Rules, Rose to the Moon, Cypher 9, awesome. Thank you guys. Alrighty, let's see here. So I've got the videos loaded up. I'm gonna show everybody this here. All right. And if we can't get Paula, we can actually play her videos.
I'm still working on it.
I'm here to talk about attrition.
That's all right. I'll play it while we're there.
That's what we're under right now. We're in a war. Nobody's really mentioned it, talked about it. We hear complaints about the C word, the C thing that's going on. I'm going to tell you from my own understanding and experience that a war of attrition is a wearing down of a people. Give them a hard time. You know, life is hard enough for everyone all the time. We're living in a downfallen world, a world that is a place of hardship because of sin. We're in a fallen state. I often talk about the difference between the world of man and the world of the Creator God. The world of the Creator God is everything natural, and the world of man is taking nature and changing it, and usually destroying nature to make something that mankind's ego thinks is good. Now, in a war of attrition, the First Nations people and the Native Americans and every other native person on the face of the earth at this time, the indigenous peoples, they have been under attrition for a really long time. It wasn't until 1962 in Canada that people didn't have to get a note from the Indian agent or some kind of governing body to leave their reserves, to actually go out and get work and just have the freedom to go back and forth whenever they wanted. And right now what we see is this same type of attrition coming to everyone that lives in America and everyone that lives all over the earth. This is such a strange thing. People are giving up their liberty and their freedom out of fear. Fear is a lack of faith. They're giving up their freedom, and they're going to be locked down. We're in these constant lockdowns. So I remember the prophecies when I'm thinking about this. Native Americans have prophecies, and they.
Hi.
Hi. So we were just, I was intently watching your video on attrition. I already agree with you. So, and again, it's so crazy, the amount of fear that is just everywhere. So what is going on? Paula, nice to have you.
Actually, I had a couple of things to talk to you about. Okay, so the conflict of attrition that's happening all over the world, that wearing down, it destroys people, it destroys families, it weakens everyone from every direction. That's what's happening to everybody right now. And the only thing I could liken this to was to the reserves. It wasn't until 1962 that Native First Nations people here in Canada were allowed to actually leave the reserves without going to an Indian agent and getting a pass card so that they could go to work or to go shopping or to go to a doctor's appointment. Does that sound familiar?
That's exactly what's going on.
Coming to everyone.
And
right.
It just doesn't, if people see the clarity of what's really, it's not even complicated. It's just that there's so much smoke screen in front of it. They're like, people want to accept what they're saying it is because it feels much better to not think you're being completely lied to. But the real picture is right in front of you. People don't understand that.
Exactly. I think this is the first step. Are you still there?
Yeah, we're still here. I'm listening intently, Paula.
Oh, okay, sorry. This is like the first step in a worldwide conflict. I'm using your vocabulary. So anyway, I just thought this attrition is happening worldwide. That's what's so amazing. And I was really tired when I made that. I was just kind of angry that evening, and so I thought I'd make that little video to try and explain what's going on to people. And if you go further, I kind of give you some solutions and some hope. But I kind of like to share that real quick with the listeners. So I likened it to a pot of boiling water. Every person is a drop of water in a pot, and the stove and the element and the pot is all controlled by the Creator, and He turns up the heat. And so, of course, the elements start to do different things, and the elements are moving all over the earth right now. Flooding, fires, the movement of the earth, the shifting of the plates of the earth, everything's happening. That's all controlled by the Creator. And as that pot starts to boil, it starts from the bottom, and so you'll have one tiny little bubble come up. Well, I liken that to somebody that committed suicide, or somebody that went and was violent to one of their loved ones, or somebody that's killed somebody that's robbing somebody. And then the bubbles get more and more. And some of these join together. The joining together it gets more violent. That's the protests on the street. Now, the solution is we're supposed to walk in love and peace. And we're supposed to become the steam that rises up. We don't react to all the bubbles. We move between the bubbles. So anyway, that's just my little thing on attrition. And then I have one on the real form of government that everyone needs to see clearly and understand. They see it in pieces and parts, and that's my other little video I put up, I think, a week before. And then the third thing I want to mention real quick, I want to tell you something about zombies.
Go ahead. Love to hear it.
Okay, so back in the 70s, I'm a doctor of natural medicine. Back in the 70s and 80s, Wade Davis was hired by the United States government. He's a shaman. I think he was into, I can't remember if it was what his university degree is. I forget, because I do know him. I just haven't even thought about that for a long time ago. But anyway, Wade went down to Haiti. The government paid him and sent him to Haiti to go and find the formula for making zombies, waking up the dead, like the actual zombies. And then there was a movie, and I think he did a book, and the movie was called The Serpent and the Rainbow. I don't know if it's still available. It's possible. But all I want to say is there are formulas out there that somebody has to actually make zombies. So you add that with your little rabies and your all these other things, and yeah, we might have a possible problem. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Which, by the way, you can still get. Well, I guess there's a movie about the Serpent and the Rainbow, 138 minutes, 1988. But as far as
that's okay. Yep.
As the book goes, it looks like there's tons of YouTube videos about it. I could probably see why. I've never actually heard of it, so definitely something I want to go look into.
Well, the other thing that happened while he was there, because you know how we say things happen in spirit first?
Yeah.
Okay, so things happen in spirit first. Well, when he was in Haiti, and he was actually, I would say he was going underground to get this, and it was a spirit war, but it was kind of like with the dark forces. And Haiti's government toppled at the exact same time. So I just want you to see the correlation between the two if you're out there watching the movie or you want to know more about it. But I think if you watch the original movie that they made back in '88, that would be a real good one. And you'll see a lot of, it's kind of on the darker shamanic side with Boudin and Santiera and all kinds of other things. But yeah. So anyway.
And by the way, the same Wes Craven is behind it, and then also Wes Craven from Nightmare on Elm Street. But what you're saying is, when we visualize things, it seems that it tends that we visualize things before they actually happen in real life. And the whole thing with Haiti, that whole thing falling apart after this kind of portrayal on TV about it, it's kind of crazy. Well, I appreciate you, and we already made sure that you're not going to be doing YouTube videos. You're going to be doing YouTube videos for a lot more people. Looks like you've already gained a bunch of people. So I hope that you use those, again, smaller creators. I was just on the phone with Alaska Prepper, and a lot of smaller creators, they don't think of subscribers. They think of as subscribers. Like Alaska Prepper says, they're community members. Each one number is a human being behind that, and I never forget that. And I remember when we gain one person, I am extremely elated, because that is a person. So you have over 100 people, or should have over 100 people to speak to. That's an audience of 100 people that you can reach with your voice, and you can make a difference. Isn't that crazy? We can make a difference in this planet.
I'm a member of Alaska Preppers community too.
He's an amazing guy, on and off camera.
Yeah, he's wonderful. Wonderful. Anyway, that was it. And thank you, Marfoogle, for having me on.
Well, I'm your newest fan, so I'll be watching your videos. I was definitely caught up by the war on attrition, so thank you so much, and have a great night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.
You too. God bless.
God bless you as well. That was Paula Johnstone Whitehawk. If you want to check out her channel, all of the channels will be linked on the website, marfooglenews.com. In fact, you can see right here, By the end of the show, this is where caller info is. It's already there. Is that not amazing? This is updated live. Emperor Rex LVC is right there. The 2 videos that we showed you here are there. Is that not flippin' amazing? See you at Disney, reading minds. It reminds you of what they did and where they are. All of the articles from today are here for you to access. And let's see here. So, and then make sure to sign up for alerts. It is imperative. At the top of the screen, which I don't know why it doesn't show you, at the top of this screen, it says alerts. Sign up for them now. In the case of SHTF, anything like that, if we knew something was going to come, absolutely, we would use that system rather than YouTube. So make sure to be in the loop. All right. Other than that, Dex, my internet brother, it looks like you, I don't know, you look older now, or your voice looks older.
My voice looks older. I love it.
Yeah, you just,
my
appearance
wife
has
told
changed.
me the same thing. She said my voice was changing.
Your appearance on the show. Don't you guys agree? As far as his appearance has changed quite a bit from the beginning of the show.
Yeah, that's a great portrait you've got there.
Yeah. Just kidding. And
hey, great show. Love you, brother.
Love you too. And we'll see you tomorrow. And again, we're going to try to fit in an earlier show if we can. Make sure to sign up for alerts, and that's about it. We are now going to do a shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's going to hit the wrong button. A shoutro. It's where I say thank you to the people that matter most. Like Angela Olson says, sent an email, Adam. Check it out. It's about testing for the... It's crazy. Don't get the... Ugh. And over on D-Live, I'm going to be saying thank you to all of you guys as well. At the 2-hour mark, which it will switch over to D-Live only. If you have not followed on D-Live, I would highly suggest it. All righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. Care Flower said, "Rest in peace, Ellen Page." Once the vac and that nurse stays by my side, Team Jesus and I will ride. Great go-to in the Wolves 55 and the Jesse Williams. Everybody stealing, gonna be there next to G and to Penny. Gonna bring back now. Now we're gonna see, just say ain't loud. Susan, amen, gonna bring the curve right. Always tight with the friends, Kelly Jones, Alaski. I'm bringing it like Mr. Jetski. Jet skis on the water, Bellevue, be prepared, mine all the time now. Cheryl Beth Carter, all the time now. Bring you home with the wind and rain, Marrona, all now. No, I didn't say no. There's your cowbell. All right, who do we got here? The Truth Is Out There is number one tonight. Philosopher. The truth is out there, gotta go. Now I see philosopher, famous writer, gonna do it like never, never, never saw. Gonna go back, go so raw. Gonna bring it hoorah, hoorah. Never did I see the truth. It was out there the whole time. I'm gonna go and now the whole time. Everybody really wants a philosopher in no family. Is that true that we ignore? Is that true? Is that out there? The truth is out there. 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 Truth is out there. Yes, we do care. Yes, we do care. Truth is out there. The 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 truth is out. Mr. Truth is out there. Oh. The truth is out there. Thanks for being number one. Marfoogle News. Open window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there. thank you so much. Says maybe better ways to support, but thank you, Marf and Dex and Chad. I think any way to support is a great way to support, so thank you so much. No news, I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use, Marfoogle News. Gotta go back and go down, gonna bring back and you got the sail. You got catch me in the respiratory, Jangry Bay, a lady. I love Beagles and WUS and proud grandma now. I got to say there I love Vera Lakini, I'll bring it down. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Thank you to W West, Robin 119, Daxton 12, Rose to the Moon, Mama of 6, Jammer. And of course, all my wonderful, beautiful mods. Remember, Shinobi 1, Yo-Yo, +1 Shield. We've got Apocalypse Roams, Proud Grandma says, Truth is out there, says Crescendo. That's how the microphone spells farts and burps. What? Just need to do a report there on them zombie hoagies. And of course, we've got T.A. Wiz, Cheryl Zirkle, Paul Shaggy, Saved by Grace. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrongs. Name displayed here says this is ridiculous. 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 I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo.